I went to the peace protest this Saturday in New York City in search of answers. What I found first was a cast of colorful characters. You just got a lot of personality for a dead guy.
And I never thought I'd be like a militant nutball about this kind of thing, but I'm turning into one. I just think it's so
Turning
wrong.
into a militant nutball?
Yes.
I even made some new friends.
Nobody wanted them back here. It was the United Nations. You're lying about things like you always do. And they
Oh, you must know me. How are you?
Yeah, your face. Yeah.
I discovered quickly that war isn't the answer to disarming Saddam, but the answer itself was a little more elusive. How would you solve the problem? What do you think would work?
I don't know, but I know that going in and bombing them and threatening the lives of civilians is not the answer.
Why not send somebody and do it like another way?
How do I think? You know, I don't really, I mean, to me it seems, I don't know.
Maybe somebody like James Bond and kill the guy, you know?
Patience is a virtue. I think we could, for lack of a better word, kill him with kindness.
Maybe not just to kill the guy, maybe just talking, you know, like through communication. There's gotta be a way.
How to go about it, I don't know, but I mean, that's the government's job to figure out, and thank you. War is not the answer.
Generally, the protesters argued that we should rely on the United Nations to disarm Iraq. Why do you think it was then that between 1991 and 1998, when the UN was inspecting Iraq, they were unable to disarm Iraq?
It's a horrible, huge question.
How much time do you think the inspectors should be given?
This is a ridiculous question. I mean, I don't know.
How long do you think the inspectors should be given in Iraq?
I mean, yeah, it's just not, I cannot tell.
Do you think that in the past the world community has lived up to its responsibility to deal effectively with Saddam Hussein?
No.
But you think that they would do it now?
I don't think Saddam Hussein is the enemy.
Is 8 years enough?
No, I mean, this is a silly question. Who are you?
Well, no, it's not, because they've already taken more than 8 years,
Yeah.
and they have not yet disarmed Iraq.
I think this is the end of it. Thanks.
I was beginning to get the sense that some of these protesters distrusted the president's motives.
I think that it's not just about protecting Iraqis, it's about harming Iraqis and stealing the oil.
It's obvious that there's other interest than just finishing with this problem.
What is the real reason?
So that we can drive SUVs that get 12 miles a gallon.
I suspect that it is oil, but also I think that it's also closely connected with the control of water in the Middle East.
He wants to be in charge of Iraq. He wants to basically dominate everything.
Oil. To distract us from the economy.
World global domination.
The horrible atrocities and exploitation of resources committed by the American government in the wake of the first Gulf War gave people ample reason to suspect our motives now. Do you think that he's going to keep the oil fields after the war?
Well, yeah.
Why didn't we keep the oil fields after the original Gulf War?
I don't know, perhaps you didn't have such a bastard as a president?
We occupy like dozens of countries continuously, and the idea isn't to get out. I think the idea is to go in and pretty much be there forever.
Why do you think then that we did not do that after the first Gulf War?
Ooh, gee, I don't know.
Fair enough. Why do you think that we did not do that after the first Gulf War?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm not sure. I mean,
why do you think that the United States didn't keep the Iraqi oil fields after the Gulf War in 1991?
Well, I think they couldn't.
They couldn't?
That's what I think so. That I cannot answer. I'm not sure.
But at least they acknowledge the good that the United States has done. They understand that no country has given more money in foreign aid or freed more people from the claws of tyranny. So we should allow him to stay in power to kill more.
In other countries, do you not know how many people? Why don't you know that? Oh, you're so educated.
And they didn't try to draw moral equivalence between the United States and Saddam Hussein's Iraq. Do you believe that Saddam Hussein has chemical or biological weapons?
I believe that Bush has chemical and biological weapons.
But you're not sure about Saddam Hussein?
It doesn't worry me. It hasn't worried me for any amount of time. He said he does not.
I think we pose a much larger threat. We have all throughout South America. We have all throughout the Middle East.
we know that we have those weapons we should also be disarmed.
I think everyone should be disarmed, including the United States. We are the world's largest military and also the largest stockpile of weapons, biological, nuclear, tactical, everything, right?
The protesters presented solid arguments to back up their skepticism of the president.
He wouldn't know anything about diplomacy. He'd never been out of the country, you know, before he was elected. Maybe he went to Mexico or Canada, I don't remember.
How would you compare Bush to Hitler? How are they similar?
There's many analogies in their policies.
Would I compare Bush to Hitler?
Yeah.
With the exception of the mustache.
Although the protesters didn't make the case to back up their opinions, they did seem like nice people for the most part, the kind of people I'd be happy to call friends. But I don't think the name-calling or extremist language helps their cause. And hopefully, the more hot-headed among them will someday realize that mere disagreement does not make one evil.
So given that sanctions and war are off the table, how would you disarm Saddam Hussein?
Said I'm against sanctions.
Oh wait, did I? Wrong side. Wrong side. I'm sorry, I'm confusing you with someone else.